We got some changes to Jerry Palm's bracketology following Florida's big win at Bama, Jacqueline.
Let's go, baby. I've been telling them that we're supposed to be on the one line, literally since the jump, Chris.
Well, they're back.
They're back.
One line, and Texas A&M also moving up to the 3 line. Florida, last night, I'm going to let you take it.
Yeah, of course. Huge road win over Bama. A huge night for Alex Condon. A career-high 27 points, 10 boards. His 6th double-double of the season. Walter Clayton Jr. dropped 22 points as well. Florida clinches a double bye in the SEC tourney, which is absolutely huge. And the first time in program history beating multiple AP top 10 teams on the road. It's giving Florida Gators 2014. And you know what happened then?
Final Four?
Final Four. Yes. That's the last time they went to the Final Four. So it's looking a lot of the same.
That was when you were in school?
It was. That was my senior year of college.
You were dazzling.
I was dazzling.
Dazzling dancer there for those Gators marching to the Final Four.
I can't with you.
Those are the 1 seeds and 2 seeds right now. Michigan State is the only team of these in action tonight at Iowa. They're a 2 seed. We are 10 days to Selection Sunday. And what we are doing is we are printing out a Jerry Palm bracket as it stands right now, and Tim Doyle from Sportsline is coming on, and he's going to take us all the way through to a national champion. 10 days to go, just so we can kind of get the bracket juices flowing.
Of course.
Get things going a little bit. Tim, we are going to start in the South region. Auburn, #1 overall seed. What do you think of this region?
I love Auburn, no doubt about it. You know, Broom is a bit banged up. Most importantly, now I know how old Jacqueline is. If I know her senior year of college, I could do the math.
Older or younger than you thought?
I'm 32. Don't answer that, Tim. Don't answer that, Tim, or I will never speak to you again.
Give me Auburn here over 1/16, no matter who they play. I love Illinois. They got pros. They've been often injured this year, but that's going to be a heck of a matchup. As we move down, Missouri, upset alert here. Liberty, 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 Liberty. You know what I like about them? They've been outstanding this year. They have all veterans. Zach Cleveland's a triple-double threat every time he goes out there. I get it. Missouri's had some great wins, but that is a 12/5. And then I have Iowa State, TJ Altenberger, and the Schmedium shirts. We'll talk a little bit more about them as we move through this bracket. A little bit further down the list.
I love VCU, Tim. I love them.
Yeah, I had VCU earlier this year, and, you know, Ryan Odom, we've seen this movie before, Chris, with UMBC. He's got Matt Shulgo, came over with them at Utah State. They're older, they're experienced, they're going to be tough. And then A&M, what a great win over Auburn. They're tough. You got Buzz on the sidelines. They advance over Northern Colorado. To the bottom of the region, if you pick Georgia, I get it. I'm just going to pick Kansas because if you're Hunter Dickinson, you can't lose this game. Like, just throw the ball Hunter Dickinson every time. So I have Kansas winning, and then I have Wisconsin. What a great story in the Big Ten. John Tonje has been awesome this year.
Okay, so you have an 11 seed advancing and a 12 seed advancing. Take us through the second round, beginning with Auburn, Illinois.
Yeah, I see this spread being like 4.5, so I am going to pick Auburn here. You know, Broom's health is going to be key. If you want to take Illinois, I get it. And then I have Iowa State moving on. I saw Keyshawn Gilbert as a freshman at UNLV. He's been super impressed by him. Guard play wins this time of year.
To the bottom, you got VCU against A&M.
I think this is going to be a dogfight. I like A&M here. You know, Phelps was awesome off the bench in the win over Auburn, and Wade Taylor is still in college, that veteran presence. As we go to Kansas and Wisconsin, I just don't trust Kansas. If you want to take them here, I get it. You just don't know what Kansas team is going to show up. Wisconsin, they have depth, and now we go to the Final Four of the South region.
Yeah, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's chalky here. But, Tim, Iowa State versus Auburn. We saw this earlier this year on a neutral floor. Iowa State had a big lead and let it slip away.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. I think that Iowa State has the capability. Curtis Jones is a sniper. I love Joshua Jefferson, the St. Mary's transfer. I think Iowa State figures out a way, and bye-bye to Auburn. They might have peaked a little bit too early. To the bottom of the bracket, I have A&M winning this game. I love their depth. I love their physicality. Obviously, they're battle-tested, so great matchup 4 versus 3.
Okay, and we're going to pick the Elite Eight games a little bit later, but I'm just going to get out of the way for Florida's region. Tim didn't have the 1 or the 2 advancing to the Elite Eight in that first region.
All right, so all I'm saying here, Tim, is that better be different for the West region here, because that is where my Florida Gators. And let me tell you that when Chris was shelling out the regions, he just put the Dazzlers, the 1 seed in the West.
And
so
the Dazzlers are
the
what?
official dance team of the University of Florida. So Dazzlers, Florida, it is synonymous. Tim, how does it go down? Oh, okay. I'm down with this.
Oh, come on. Come on. I'm not going to have Nebraska, Omaha win.
It could happen.
No 16 over 1 here. Love Florida. Love Walter Clayton Jr. They advance. St. Mary's, I just saw them recently. I don't love this bracket for them because they see Florida in the second round. But Augustus Marshallonis, his dad was Sarunas, played for the Warriors back in the day. Older group, experienced group. It's going to be a dogfight for Florida in that game. As we go a little bit further down, give me Drake. Love the Drake. Love the Drake here, okay? If you have not seen Bennett Sturtz play, 19 points, 6 assists, nearly 5 rebounds a game. The old Northwest Missouri State coach, Ben McCollum, basically took his old D2 team, brought it to Division I. Right now, Drake's 27-3, and I'm going to go with Yale. You know what Yale has? Experience. Last year, knocked off Auburn. Plus, they have a backcourt. John Polikitis, 19 points a game. Ben Ebong, and then Nick Towson's a bruiser. That's a team that's good. No one wants to see Yale, those dorks. As far as Clemson and Arkansas, I love Clemson here. I don't know why they're a 6. Playing some great basketball. Chase Hunter, 5-year guy. Ian Scheffler and Brad Barnell, made a run last year. Love Clemson. And then Texas Tech. If you don't know who Grant McCasland is, Chris and I called some of his games at North Texas. He's primed to get even a bigger job than Texas Tech. I like Baylor here. Love me some Pat Kelsey. Not sure this team's going to bring the energy in this one. VJ Edgecombe is a star for Baylor, and then Michigan State beats up on Bobby Morse.
All right, so Tim, we have a couple of upsets. Drake, Yale, Baylor moving forward.
Here we go.
And the
8-seeded St. Mary's.
Yeah, the Cinderella. No, that's not where the Cinderella story goes. Just hold on to your horses, Chris.
Yeah, this is a bad seed for St. Mary's. If they get this matchup, they will lose to Florida. Florida's incredible. I think they have legit national championship hopes. Obviously,
I believed him to say this.
They're big time. So, and then I have Drake taking care of business. Like I said, I think Sturtz is an amazing talent, and that's going to be a really fun game to watch. But he's like difficult to guard in the pick and roll. I have Clemson winning. They just beat Duke recently, and then I have Baylor upsetting Michigan State. That backcourt. I think the key for Baylor is going to end up being, which Jeremy Roach is going to show up. Last year, shot nearly 50% from the field. This year, he's certainly struggled.
Florida, Drake, Clemson, and Baylor do the right thing, Tim.
Yeah, Florida advances here. Obviously, this is a great draw, right? I mean, you get Drake. You love to see Drake there as a 1 versus 12. And then I think they're going to be going up against Clemson. Now, I think Clemson got an unfair seeding with a 6. And they're going to be in a dogfight because Clemson's a squad that lost to South Carolina earlier this year. But now, Jacqueline, they're playing their best basketball.
That would be back-to-back Elite Eight appearances for the Clemson Tigers as we move to the other side of the bracket now, Tim, and the region where Duke is the #1 team. That's the East region. This is a region with Alabama as the 2, with St. John's as the 3. Lead us into it with Duke taking on the winner of that play-in game.
Yeah, I have Duke advancing here. If you haven't seen Cooper Flagg, get out and watch him because this is going to be his only year in Durham. He's not running it back. I have Creighton winning this game. Gonzaga's been up and down. They're ranked in the top 25. They have a tough time defending. It's going to be a great matchup, EK versus Kalkbrenner. I have McNeese State. If you don't know, now you know. 19-1 this year. They gave Alabama and Mississippi State all they could handle. That's a sleeper team. Will Wade's the head coach. And then I have Oregon winning this spot over Lipscomb.
All right.
Further down, we got, if Mississippi State makes it, I'm in trouble because I like Oklahoma in the play-in game. So let's put Ohio State there. Let's move them on. I have St. John's winning. Yes, I rode the bench there, but they've had a great year, and this matchup's going to be favorable for them. A little bit further down, BYU's been great at home. If you haven't seen Richie Saunders, love the hair, love the headband. And then Alabama, they take care of business as well.
Okay, so that's actually Oklahoma that you have as the 11th seed there against St. John's, correct?
Correct, but that's okay.
That's all right. You don't have them advancing much farther, so that's okay. Duke and Creighton, Timmy.
I have Duke winning this game. That's going to be a high-scoring game. And then I have McNeese State taking care of business. Right now, Will Wade's got a squad that's balanced, their experience, so upset city there. I have St. John's. If St. John's wins 2 games in the dance, that is a successful season for them. I know they have Final Four aspirations, but they have a bad matchup waiting for them in Alabama.
Man, BYU is red hot right now. Duke, McNeese. Is McNeese going to do it again?
McNeese is not going to do it again. Duke advances, and then what a matchup this is going to be against Alabama. I don't think St. John's could score with Alabama. I think that their physicality runs out, and then we got a 1 versus 2 in the East.
You know, we're talking about St. John's. I'm really shocked we don't have the photo of Tim Doyle back in the day on the bench. It always seems to appear every time we talk about it.
When they cheated and went to the NIT and won it, and he still has that NIT championship ring that he's been trying to hawk on eBay that nobody wants.
All right, let's finish this off, Tim, and go to the Midwest region where Houston is the 1 seed. How does it go down in the first round?
You know, you can vacate my NIT championship, but you can't take away my ring. Give me Houston advancing, and then I have UConn advancing. You got Liam McNeely back. This is a UConn team. This is actually a bad drop. They get an 8 or 9. They're in trouble. I love Maryland. If you haven't seen Derek Queen play, it's like a miniature Zach Randolph. I went back and forth on this game. Not gonna lie. Akron's had an awesome year in the MAC. It's one of those conferences Hassel and I know really well. They're always underrated, but I think Kentucky's just a little bit too deep, so they squeak by there. Memphis is a sleeper team. No one watches them play because they're the American. They're really talented. Purdue's got Braden Smith. They have experience, so they're going to advance over Chattanooga. UCLA, I was impressed by them recently. Just beat up on Northwestern. Kind of almost blew the game late. They win. And then Tennessee, they're a tricky team to handicap because when they're good, they have Final Four capabilities. When they're not good, oh boy, not good at all.
All right, so Houston, UConn, Maryland, Kentucky, Memphis, Purdue, UCLA, and Tennessee. Take us through it, Tim.
Yeah, I have Houston winning here. This is just a bad matchup for UConn. And then I have Maryland taking care of business. I'm in love with this Maryland backcourt. Jacoby Gillespie's a Belmont transfer. Rice can fill it up, and Miguel's been through the wars. Give me Memphis. Like I said, you haven't watched them play. They beat this year. UConn beat Michigan State, beat Clemson. PJ Haggerty's getting you 21 a game. They're a dangerous team. And then I have Mick Cronin this time of year. Yeah, he's got some depth. He's got some size. The guards, they're starting to play their best basketball, so they advance.
All right, Houston and Maryland, Memphis and UCLA. Mick Cronin, UCLA, do they do it again?
I do think UCLA advances, and I like Maryland as well. So I got upset city here in the Midwest. Derek Queen and Julian Reese, they have the physicality down low to match up with a Houston squad. Obviously, this is a hypothetical, but when you play Houston, you know they're going to rebound. You know they're going to be physical. This region's going to get goofy, and that's what we want to see in the tournament.
I love Maryland as well. They've got a great starting 5, Tim. So you have a couple of 1 seeds already out of this thing as we pick it up into the Elite 8 in the Final 4. Let's start with that matchup between Iowa State and A&M in the South.
Yeah, give me Iowa State here. They hit that bump on the road. Remember they lost that crazy game to Arizona, but you know they went through a losing streak there. But I think they learned from that, and their scoring is much better. Like their offense has finally caught up with their defense, and they're going to take on Florida. This Florida team, Condon's a guy. What a tremendous talent. I think he showed full display against Alabama. He could pass, he could dribble, he could shoot. On the other side, I have Duke advancing. Cooper Flagg, he has help around him. Malawatch down low, Knipple on the wing. They're really playing great basketball. And they're going to be taking on Maryland. This is old school. This is like 2001, Steve Blake, Juan Dixon. Get your hats ready. This is going to be a fun Final Four with some big-time names there.
All right, so we have 2 1 seeds in Florida and Duke, a 4 seed in Iowa State, and then Maryland as a 5 seed. Who is going to the Natty?
Yeah, get excited. You're playing on Monday, Jacqueline. I got Florida advancing. I think that Walter Clayton Jr. is one of the best point guards. They got balance. They got depth. They've had adversity, right? Had the Todd Golden off the court situation. They figured out a way to kind of push on through with that. Hasn't derailed their season. and they're going to be taking on Duke. I think Cooper Flagg's going to rejuvenate the NBA, not just rejuvenate college basketball. He is a generational talent, and the things that he does well, plays hard, he's unselfish, unbelievable motor. That's what everybody questions now in the NBA. He does all the little things, and we got a 1-versus-1 in the national championship.
All right, and the graphic jumped ahead there, but I'm seeing that you do not think the Florida Gators are going to win it all because, I mean, it is a tall task in Cooper Flagg.
I think they certainly have a chance. I mean, when you get that far and you get into the Final Four, anything could happen, but we're looking at a generational talent. And I've told people in the NBA, and I've worked there, that this guy's the next face of the NBA. There has not been a lot of freshmen that have done this, right? We saw Anthony Davis do it. We saw Carmelo Anthony do it. We're talking about 2 Hall of Famers there. And I hosted a high school game last year with Cooper Flagg, and after the game, got a chance to meet his parents, spend time with him. And I told everybody, I said, I just watched a Hall of Famer play. And as the season has gone on, he has actually gotten better. He should be a senior in high school. He left early. This is crazy. Like, he should be looking over someone's shoulder, looking at their Scantron. BCBBA. Like, I could pass a whole test. Anybody has a Scantron test, that was easy peasy for me, all right? Never failed any of those. But Duke, they got the depth. They have the superstar. They have the generational talent. Not saying Florida doesn't have a chance, but I got to go with the Dukies.
Congrats to Tim, the very first person, I believe, on earth to fill out a bracket for the NCAA tournament this year, 10 days before Selection Sunday. Jacqueline, by the way, we have the Final Four championship game on CBS from San Antonio.
We do. We're hopefully the Florida Gators will be there. But Chris, you mentioned it, Selection Sunday, just 10 days away. The selection show is on March 16th, 6 p.m. on CBS. And then, of course, you can stream it all on Paramount Plus as well.